Hello and welcome back to another episode of Craven Some Raven. I'm back, baby. I didn't get a chance to record a preview of this game, because I was in California at the time. The day I wanted to do it, we ended up going to Sonoma, did some wine tasting, and I got a little white girl wasted, so I didn't want to record after that. And then the next day, it was a day of travel, a day of not fun. Traveling sucks in the holidays, so had to do that. And then I finally got to Maryland, but it was the night before the game, and now it is the day after the game. I went to this 49ers game, and oh my God, so much fun. Haven't been to a game in years, and I gotta say, if you're going to a game, club level is the move. I know it's not the most financially viable, but if you're gonna, you splurge. I mean, if you want to go, I say splurge. I mean, I got the cheapest ones you could get, section 243, row 5, which, okay, if it's raining and you want to sit in club level, which I do recommend because you can just go outside, there's a bar, you can drink, there's tons of TVs, nice areas to sit in, you don't have to just stand around. It's not still outside, you're inside. You get to take the escalators, which is dope. I mean, it's just an all-around, you feel fancy when you get in there. I had a crab cake sandwich. What? At a stadium? Yeah, get your life, man. I felt like when I walked by, someone needed to be fanning me with a giant leaf. That's the way I felt walking around that club level. So if you can, I would say go with that. But if you're sitting in section 243, I would recommend not sitting in row 5 if it's raining. If it's raining, I'd recommend row 6, row 7, row 8, anything above row 5. Because I was sitting in row 5 and I was getting hit by those big old drips. We were just barely on the cusp of underneath. So when it was raining, sometimes we won't be getting hit by anything, depending on the wind. Other times we're just getting hit by those big ass drips. So we were getting dripped on, a little bit of rain. But you know what? That's what made it so much fun. This is football weather, baby. I kept yelling that. I kept yelling at the players. Fuck you, San Francisco. Your bridge is shit. I don't know. What? It's a cool bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge. It's pretty cool. I was literally just in San Francisco. It's a cool bridge. I don't know. But that's the excitement of the game. Get a few beers in you. Cheering on your team. They're doing great. And, you just kind of lose yourself a little bit. Fun. Awesome. So, I rewatched the game. Just so you know, I didn't quite miss anything. I did not write any notes. But you know how we do it on here. It is just my thoughts, my feelings, my conspiracy theories, and my, anyways, I said it, my thoughts. My thoughts on the game. What up, Zoe? God, don't step on my iPad, you dumb fuck. I love you. I love you, Zoe. You're such a good dog. But, yeah, man, rewatching the game, I tried watching it earlier. I wanted to watch the full version, with all of the announcers and all that shit, but it takes 2 hours, and I was watching it this morning, and I ended up falling asleep. So I just finished the game, the second half, in the condensed version. And man, this game, I gotta say, it was, this was the juggernaut battle of the week. Everyone knew it, everyone thought about it, everyone was saying this. This was the game. 49ers versus Ravens, Super Bowl preview. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Earl Thomas said, you think the 49ers are going to make the Super Bowl? All I know is whoever we play, they're going to have a tough time. A little crazy. They don't go that far, Earl Thomas. But, this was the juggernaut. We didn't quite get to see it in full force because of the rain. And, rain affects the team, so it wasn't as high scoring as probably it would have been. My guess is that the rain hurt the Ravens a little bit more. I'm going to say that. I understand the argument that, hey, well, they're coming from San Francisco. But listen, I was just in San Francisco. It was literally the same exact weather, except colder. I know it doesn't make any sense because it's California, but only Southern California has great weather. San Francisco, it's not as nice of weather. It's colder. It's colder there. It was rainy when I was there. I think they hadn't gotten rain in a while, but it was the same exact weather. And, oh, don't you bark. Don't do it. There's a freaking animal outside. Don't do it, Zoe. Yeah, don't do it. Good girl. These... I forget what I was saying. Dang it, Zoe. Why? Why did you mess me up? Oh, poor baby. It's okay. It's okay. Like this was the matchup, right? This was the Super Bowl matchup, and the weather. Okay, yeah, the weather, I think, affected the Ravens a little bit more, just because I think the way this team operates, I think they're a high-flying, well-timed, clean game. I know they like to smash mouth football. Maybe what I'm saying, it doesn't make sense. I just feel like this Ravens team, it relies more on its speed for it to have success. I know they run the ball a lot, but the reason they're able to have success with the run is because of how quick they're able to be on offense with Lamar Jackson. And so you get a muddy field, or you get a field with terrible conditions, which I thought the field held up very well. I think we have a very good, grounds crew. Either way, I felt like the grass was 100, as the kids say, or as they don't. I don't know what they say anymore. But I felt like the field was held together very well. But it was still rainy, cold conditions, and I feel like our team, its success comes from speed. And like I said, I know we run the ball a lot. I don't know, this is a smash mouth, time of possession winning game, but I think the way we go about business is by speed. We are smash mouth with speed. That's what we do. We hit you quick, hit you fast, and hit you hard. That's the way they do things. And so when you got a field that's maybe a little bit rainy, a little wet, conditions aren't perfect, everyone's thighs are a little cold, I think that maybe affects us a little bit more. You could say maybe the same thing about San Francisco, but I'm not talking about them. This is all Ravens podcast. This is all about my team, your team, our team. You know what I'm saying? Fuck San Francisco. They thought they were the best team in the league. They're saying they're the best team in the NFC. Are they? I don't know. I don't think they are. I didn't get a chance to... Hey, shut up. What? There's nothing out there. You dumb. You dummy. Hey, get on out of there. Shh. Shut your face. Shut your face. Shh. Zoe, you are adorable. Quit being so cute. Quit barking. Quit your barking. Quit your barking there, dog. Alright. I'm just doing this in the family room. No one's here. Everyone's working. I'm just on kind of vacation. I don't got to be back at work till Wednesday, so I'm just chilling. Just chilling. But they thought they were the best team in the NFC. I don't know about that. I think without rain, the one thing that I took away from this, right? At the end of the game, you could hear it in their voice. They lost, but they were taking the moral victory. They're saying, "Hey, man, that's a good team. We took it to them," because the Ravens, they've done like a 180 on how they're perceived in the league, right? They went from, "Hey, man, we'll get them next time," I don't know, like the way they're perceived, like, hey, they're not that great, to now they're world beaters, and it's, if you get close to what they scored, then hey, job well done. You done diddly did it now, didn't you? You know what I'm saying? Because a couple weeks ago, maybe 7 weeks ago, before we went on this tirade of defeating all these teams, that wasn't the case. But now, since we go to the Texans, whoop the shit out of them. We go to the Patriots, kind of whoop the shit out of them. The score didn't represent that, but it was definitely an ass whooping. We go to... Don't do it, Zoe. Who else did we beat? Who else did we smack? The team we just played. The Texans. We played the Bengals. We smacked the fuck out of them, that's for sure. The Seahawks, right? So we played all these great teams. We started smashing them. And now, the Rams, we just smashed the Rams. Oh, God, we fucked that LA ho. So now, when we play San Francisco, and it's only 20-7, their whole team in the interviews are saying, "Oh, I mean, we played a great team. No moral victories, even though I thought we played an excellent game. And even in the media, you can hear them. San Francisco, they played excellent. They were able to slow down this Ravens team. And, like I was saying earlier, was it even San Francisco? Or was it the weather? I mean, when they first started on this tirade of good teams, or destroying these good teams, we played Seattle. And in that game, it was raining a lot. We didn't put up a lot of points on offense. I mean, we put up a defensive touchdown and had some turnovers, so there you go. There's that. I don't know. I think this was a playoff style game. Bad weather, two good teams going at it. And we're the ones who ended up with the victory. I know in the betting world, which I wasn't able to get any bets out this week, which kind of sucks because, damn it, I just love betting on the games. But, when you got two great teams going up against each other, and they're pretty freaking even. And if you go by betting standards, right, the spread, if the teams are perceived as even, the spread the home team is given like a 3-point advantage, which isn't a lot, but that's exactly what went down. We won by 3 points. Now, I think we could have won by more. I think we had a couple of inopportune mistakes, a couple stupid penalties. Not saying that should have changed, but there was that one pass interference on Mark Ingram where the defender jumped up and threw his body through Mark Andrews, just jumped through Mark Andrews' back, if I want to say Andrews, just jumped through his back, and it wasn't a penalty. I mean, if that's not pass interference, I don't know what is. And, how can you complain about this? I've talked about this before. How can you complain about any of this when, you get some, you lose some? Sometimes you get these, sometimes you don't get these. And it's just a toss of the hat. It is what it is. But earlier in the game, they called one, I think, against Emmanuel Sanders on a 4th down. We had the play blocked. It was done. They were out. It was a turnover on downs. But they decided to call Marlon Humphrey on some kind of ticky-tack bullshit. But then when something even more egregious happens, then they don't call it, right? That's just the way it goes. Hometown, getting hometowned in your hometown. But, yeah, these animals are just freaking looking at me like, what is up with you, bro? You were chilling all day, not really talking, and now you're just screaming to nobody. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay, Zoe. I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. Good girl. She just wants me to pet her. Quit spreading your legs, dog. Don't be such a whore. Don't be such a hooah. All right. Like this game, it meant so much. 10-1, the best team in the league, right? Oh, and what makes it better is that the Patriots lost. What? Let's fucking go, dude. I am fucking stoked because now we are in the 1 seed. We are in the driver's seat, and we got one more game against the Bills, against a team with a good record, right? And they are no pushovers, but I have said before that I don't think that their record is indicative of how good their team is, or how bad their team is, I should say. I don't think they're as good as the record suggests. I mean, 9-3, come on. I mean, you saw with the Patriots. Their Patriots are 10-2, and they lost to the Texans, and we fucking whooped the Texans. I know football math, it doesn't work that way, but you get the idea, right? You can kind of you can put a few things together. You can't make that your Bible. You can't make that hey, well, now that's the rule. That's the rule. No, you can just kind of take it into consideration, like, yeah, well, isn't that just something? You can do that with it. When you destroy a team and then that team destroys another team, you can just, take that information and go, well, isn't that just something? But can't take it to heart. You can't take it with any sort of, legitimacy. Like this, like being the 1 seed, this is huge for us. We've never had this opportunity. We might. I don't think we're guaranteed playoff spot right now. With only 10 wins, I think we could still go 10-6 and possibly other teams do amazing and we don't get into the playoffs. I don't see that happening. So basically, we're in the playoffs right now. I think we should try and get the 1 seed, just keep our foot on the gas. Don't let one game at a time. I don't think we should try to let anybody win when we're playing them. Which is a dumb thing to say. That's like oh, really? No shit, Sherlock. But listen, I think this is our division, not division, conference. This is our conference to lose. The way we've been playing, I think the only thing to really slow us down is bad weather. Just because I think a lot of what we do, like I said, is built on speed, and I think our defense, they've played better, but a lot of their success is due to the fact that other teams get demoralized and have to move the way they play to a different style because they're getting destroyed. The Ravens go two drives in a row without scoring twice in a row. Like, you go down, drive twice, and then the other team gets no points. It's 14-0 first quarter. You start freaking out, right? Even as a fan, you'd be, if I'm on a team and your team is losing 14-0, oh, fuck, come on, guys. You got to get something going. You got to get rolling. And you get out of your element. You lose sight of what your plan was. Because obviously it wasn't working for 2 drives, but that's only 2 drives, right? But with the way the Ravens playing at time of possession, you're barely going to get the ball. You're barely going to have any time of possession. So you got to make your drives count. And that's kind of how everything works. The Ravens get their stops because the offense kind of makes the other team freak out because now they got to score points. So now they're doing something differently than they have all year. Now they're stuck in playing a certain type of way that they don't want to. And so now the defense knows exactly how they're going to be playing. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot more, going to be going deeper, barely going to be running, so the defense can adjust. And the strength of our defense is the defensive backs, right? Is the DBs, is our secondary. So we force you, we get you scared enough, it gets you to start just, all right, we got to throw it. We got to score some touchdowns. Oh, geez, we got to score. Oh, my God, let's just throw it out. And you're throwing it right into our strength. So not only are you losing on the front of not playing your game, right? Each team is good at something, and you got to play to your strengths, right? And play to the other team's weakness, right? You got to maximize strengths and attack efficiencies of the other team. And so with our strength on offense putting up points quick and, keeping the ball, we do that a couple times, then it almost feeds the strength of our defense, which is the pass defense, which is our secondary. It's just a 1-2 punch, and that's how we're able to get these dominating type games. It's because our offense and defense are truly like a well fit together puzzle piece. They complement each other well. Now, I think anytime you play good on one side of the ball, it's complementary football, as someone would say. You can't see my air quotes, but I'm doing them. I just think, the way ours is built, I think it's better than just, hey, this side of the ball is playing well. Oh, this side of the ball isn't playing well. I just think the way that our team is constructed, that's how we win. It's a definite recipe. I gotta pause this real quick. But it's not like we were overly dominant. This was a very close game. The score was only 20-17. Very close game. They went up 7-0. Then it was us. Then it was 7-7. Then it was 14-7. 7, then 14-14, 17-14, 17-17, 20-7. It was just an inching kind of game. Both of these offenses, right? Because these teams are kind of built very similarly. The way they like to win, run the ball, pass when they need to for a big play, and play good defense. Now, I think they're a little bit different because San Francisco, they're based off the defensive line and all that fun stuff. But, just ultimate teams, best in the league. What are you doing, Zoe? What are you doing? Lay down. I mean, this was the grudge match, right? I don't know what to say. Like, this was a close fucking game. I saw some positives. I saw some negatives. No moral victories. We should have blown them out. I remember my dad at the game. I was like, I was drunk, and I was like, this is a great fucking game. This is such a great fucking game. And at least it's a great, win or lose, this is a great game, saying shit like that. As long as you have fun out there, right? No. But I was saying shit like, hey, this is one hell of a game. Keep it close. The Ravens kind of need a close game. My dad's like, fuck that. I want to see him dominate. Like, yeah. I would like to see that too, but that's not the way it's going. So I enjoy this just as much. And so it's like, man, would you rather have them dominate? Or would you like to see them struggle a little bit? Because I've been talking about it. I've been hoping for, maybe a little slice of humble pie, right? Your team can't just continue dominating people like you're Alabama, even though they lost, or like you're some Power 5 team versus ITTT Tech. How many T's are in that goddamn school? You can't just keep playing ITT Tech. You remember that school? You can't keep playing Phoenix Online University School, whatever it's called. You can't keep playing Phoenix. DeVry. I mean, this is Alabama versus DeVry these past few weeks. And as fun as that is to watch, and as excited as a Ravens fan, I like that, as much as I hope every game is like that. When it comes to a team, when it comes to a locker room, it's not sustainable. And, there's that word, sustainable. But, I mean, it's not, you can't demand those sort of things. This is the NFL, and it's surprising that the Ravens were able to do it for so long. They shouldn't have been able to. This is the league. This is the NFL. Everyone is the best. And so I'm glad, I'm still glad they won, but I'm glad it was close. Because if they dominated San Francisco, then they would be all up on their high horse, riding along, jousting. I don't know. This analogy is breaking apart, but I mean they'd just be, yeah, look at us, look at me, like I don't know. I just imagine it would get to them in a negative sort of fashion. They'd start to feel themselves a little bit too much. And I get it. This team isn't a very, look at me type guy. This isn't I got to give my stats, bro. It's not that kind of team. John Harbaugh has them kind of right. Lamar Jackson, the way he leads, he kind of, it's not an indicative kind of thing for this squad to be that way. But if you just continue blowing out teams, you do it for 8, 9, 10 weeks straight, you're going to be feeling too high on yourselves, and then next thing you know, you're going into the playoffs feeling too high, and someone's going to punch you in the mouth. And I'm glad we got it over early. I'm glad we saw this team at home in the rain. A tough matchup. This was not easy. A lot had been said about the West Coast trip, right? They're playing at 10 o'clock, and I get that, right? They're changing time zones and all that stuff, but for them it would be like a 10 o'clock game. I mean, what the fuck, bro? 10 o'clock? You can't get up, you can't get your shit together. As a professional football player, as an athlete, you don't get enough sleep where you can't wake up at 8 o'clock, get to the stadium, and get going. I mean, what the hell? And they come over here way beforehand. I'm just saying, I think it's a little bit blown out of control that this trip all the way to the East Coast as a West Coast team, I think is definitely overblown. Oh yeah, Zoe? You think it's overblown too? Tell me what you think. Yep. I've been saying the same thing, Zoe. Yes. I don't know if you heard her, but she said fuck Jimmy Garoppolo and fuck West Coast teams thinking it's tough coming over for a morning game. I mean, yeah, don't sneeze on me. You are repeating me, Zoe. I love you for it. He's spazzing out. What up, Spaz? But I mean, I think it's not. I'm not an NFL player. Right? Who am I to say any of this? But I mean, the argument is, hey, it's 10 o'clock for him. It's fucking 10 o'clock. 2 hours and you're at prime lunchtime. Like, what? Like, that's brunch. You're telling me you're playing at brunch and you can't handle that? I'm looking outside and I'm like yelling like this, and Zoe thinks I'm seeing an animal. Like, calm down, dog. Calm down. But, like, at 10 o'clock, that's not even a big deal. I don't know why they make it a big deal. Like, woo, buddy. They're playing at brunch time. They're from California. This team lives in California. Brunch is their shit. I feel like brunch is a lot of people's shit, but that is a white woman from California to the T shit. Avocado toast and mimosas. No mimosas. No mimosas. You know, I don't drink alcohol. Let me get a no-mosa. But listen, so you just want an orange juice? Yes, just an orange juice, please. And an avocado toast because I am feeling myself because I live in San Francisco. And I am a 49er. That's like I'm just saying 10 o'clock is their time. Yeah, I don't even know why I'm going on this tirade. Because they're the ones seen as like, oh, well, they're going, I think it was Stephen A. or someone else. I think there was a few other teams like, oh, well, I'm impressed by what San Francisco 49ers did. Let's see, what did they do? They came to Baltimore early, so they got used to the time zone, so that's not even an issue. Oh, they had Thanksgiving. It was, it got in the way. They were already here. They didn't even get to enjoy that. And the Ravens had Thanksgiving too. And I remember John Harbaugh saying that since they won and in such dominating fashion against the Rams, that they had Thanksgiving off, like the whole day. They didn't even have to come in. So you're talking the Ravens got off more than the 49ers did. Okay, whatever. And then you go and add the fact that the Ravens played on Monday night. So it was a short week with Thanksgiving completely off. I'm just saying, the 49ers should have been way more prepared. I know it's an away game, but they had a lot of fans there. And I was hoping it would come through the TV as loud as it felt like it was at the game. And it was pretty loud. It was pretty loud on the TV, but I felt like it was louder in the stadium. But there were quite a few 49ers fans there. I don't know how many, like what the percentage was, but it felt like there was more than there should have been. Because it was very loud anytime something good for them happened or something bad for the Ravens happened. It was way too loud in there. I think even on like one of the calls, it was a roughing the passer on Lamar, which it was, because they were going low all fucking game, not even on him. They just kept going low. I genuinely think they were trying to knock us out. Was it dirty? Maybe not on purpose, but it's kind of dirty trying to tackle someone low. I guess it is very cold, and it's tricky. Hey, don't eat the cat, you fuck. Buddy's gonna fuck you up, dog. Cats kill dogs. I mean, they're too quick. Their paws are too vicious. They just give them a 1-2, pop, 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 which is what we should have done to the 49ers. But we had a tough week, right? Tougher than the 49ers. I mean, hell, it felt like a neutral game site. Just kidding. Not really. It was very loud. It was very awesome. I got to contribute to the noise. And it was, rainy shit conditions. And we were loud. The stadium was full till the very end. I know it was a very close game. But, it's still awesome. Super impressive to see, the stadium basically full. I know ever since they did that kneel down shit, I think, the numbers have been down. That's what I've heard from people going to the games. That's what you notice on TV. But they the stadium was full, and the flock came out. It was awesome. I was very, very impressed. I enjoyed myself. Had quite a few beers. Wanted more, after the win, but they stopped serving once the game's over, which is dumb. They should just leave it open. Stadium party. Right? Club at the stadium. I know I was on club level, but there's no DJ. Where's the DJ? I gotta make some requests. Yeah, man, so it's like, both teams had things going against them, right? It was an away game for them. We were coming off a short week. This wasn't both teams' best efforts. But throughout all the adversity that both teams had, the Ravens won, And you have to credit the Ravens. And I know I've seen like Stephen A. and a couple other people saying, fuck, who's the other guy? Who's like the Sunday Night Football, the one dude who can't give the Ravens credit for anything? He'll just offhandedly say, I was more impressed by what the 49ers did. But they lost. How could you be impressed? That's a moral victory type shit. Rodney Harrison? Does that sound right? I don't know, but he never gives the Ravens credit. And then, 2 seconds later, he's like, but I do think the Ravens are the best team in the league. But let me talk about the 49ers. Whatever, bro. I've never seen him give us credit. And that was the one time I've seen him say even anything remotely. And he still barely did it. But, there's definitely a lot of positives coming out of this game. Some stuff I saw. There were some negatives, though. One of the positives was, rewatching the game. Jalen Ferguson, man. There's a couple times, you hate to see it because you hate seeing big plays, going against your team. But they would break out. The running back, Mostert specifically, he would break out and he'd be going down the sideline. And next thing you know, he's getting tackled by Jalen Ferguson. 20, 30 yards down the field. And this happened, I think, 2-3 times. And so I love to see the hustle, man. This is a young guy trying to make a name for himself, with the nickname Sack Daddy. You think he'd be, I'm the sack guy. I'm going to be getting some sacks. Get your nose out of the cat's butt. Or just do that. Just dig deeper. Dig deeper, bro. Dig deeper. Get up in that puss. Yeah, man, I'm just impressed by the way he's been playing the run. You've seen it in college and you've seen it, even in preseason. His speed to power is excellent when rushing the passer. All he needs is one more move and he's going to be a dominant force. But you saw that power, so you knew if he got his technique down, if he knew what he was doing, got a little bit of coaching in him because he went to a smaller school. He could be something special in the run game as well, and he was able to stack up the box. I think the 49ers still got outside a little bit on us, but you know what? It's fine. They're a good team. They're going to get one. You can't stop them every single time, right? Even in a dominating performance, the Rams put up 6 points. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, buddy? What are you going to do? I don't know. That was the cat saying that. He's just looking at me like, you shut the fuck up. I'm trying to chill. I'm trying to chill here on this nice Monday. I hate Mondays. Ain't that right, kitty? And some negatives. The only negative was Marcus Peters, man. Everyone always says, he is the feast or famine guy. That is him. He's either getting picks or getting picked on. And frankly, I don't think he was getting picked on, but I thought a couple of those runs, a couple of those long runs, Mostert had 146 yards. That's a lot of yards, man. So we were getting run on. But a lot of those big runs, Marcus Peters, he had the guy, and he just missed the tackle. That's fine. It's whatever. He's a corner. That's not his job. But then in the first drive on that 4th and 2, Jimmy G just straight up throws it up. And I saw Marcus Peters there, and that was towards my seats. That was in line. Hey, quit fucking with the cat. That was the ball was straight up on line to where I was, like sitting, right? So I had like a perfect view of this, and the ball is just floating up. Hey, quit fucking with the cat. Zoe, you piece of shit. Sit down. Quit fucking with the cat, yo. What are you doing? What are you doing? No. I will not shake. I will pet you. I will pet your face. So Jimmy G, I've been getting interrupted by these dergs. But Jimmy G just straight up threw it up. And I'm seeing it like perfectly. I got a great view of the whole thing. And Marcus Peters is right there. And I'm like, yes, here we go. This is what we deserve. We're about to get that pick. Ain't it right, Zoe? She saw it too. And we were both excited because like, yes, this is perfect. Give us one, Jimmy G. But he didn't. He like didn't get his head around. He got his head around. He just couldn't find the ball, and he got out-muscled. You know, even if you don't see the ball, you got to try to at least get leverage on the wide receiver. And this guy, this rookie, Debo, the fat man's name, he's the one who comes up with it. And I'm not going to lie. Debo Samuel, I was 100% wrong about you, bro. You know, in the draft process, a lot of people were high on Debo Samuel, and I wasn't. You know, I watched like maybe 2-3 games of his, and I was just not impressed. So I'm guessing I saw the wrong games, but I was wrong about Debo Samuel. You know, I didn't even have him in my top 10 because when I watched the tape, I was like, this guy ain't all that great. I don't understand what all the hype is about, right? So I was wrong about you, Debo Samuel. You've been killing it in the league so far. Congratulations. I was wrong. But I'm not big enough to where I need to be making apologies just for myself. I just need to let my listeners know that I have been wrong on some people in the draft. Not many. He was like one out of a few. There's a lot of people, let's see, who I wasn't high on that's going off. I can't think of anybody else. But, you know, firsthand, getting to see him, you know, he's a beast. You know, he looks bigger out there than you would expect. But you know, besides that big play, this was the crazy thing about this game was the fourth downs. Like this was straight up Madden. Like this 20-17, 5-minute quarters, going for it on fourth down before the game. You and your buddy, all right, I ain't going for it on fourth down. All right, yeah, me neither. Let's get this. That's exactly what went down. I think I saw it was like 6 fourth downs. 6 fourth downs that people tried to convert. 6? You don't normally you get that maybe in a season. Like one team goes for it 6 times in a season. You know, a conservative coach, they only go for it 6 times the whole year. But this game, both coaches knew that this was a game of possessions because you saw by the end, by the final score, the reason the Ravens won is because they got the ball back with 6 minutes and 28 seconds. And they didn't let go of it. And they had pretty decent field position. I think they got it back on a turnover on downs, on a fourth down stop. Oh, yes, it was the one where Chris Wormley got his hands up and blocked the ball on the pass. I think it was 4th and 2, which, I mean, welcome, Chris Wormley. What's good with you? Haven't heard your name in a while. I know he's a 5 technique, and those guys never get any credit, and they're never asked to make the flashy play. The only time they do is when they do get their arm up. Almost hit my hand on the ceiling fan. That would have been bad. But that's the only time they ever get any credit for doing anything. It's because, you know, they're asked to fill up space, fill up blockers. That's their job. And so the only time they can really make a play is if they block the ball. So he blocked the ball. They get the ball back. The Ravens drive down the field in the slowest, most painstaking, quit fucking with the cat, drive. 6 minutes? Seriously? 6 minutes, buddy. 6 minutes. Can you believe that? Can you? I can't even tell if these animals think I'm talking to them. I think they think that I've been talking to them this whole time. Do they not understand that they don't speak English? English, motherfucker, do you speak it? But like, I had talked before. I talked about the importance and how significant it was that there's been quite a few games where the Ravens, they end the drive or they end the game like inside the 10-yard line and just kneel it down. Like they drove all the way down to the end zone. Like, I'm chill right here. We'll end the game right now. Let me just, as a kneel down. That's the sound of a kneel down. They're clicks. Right, Zoe? They kneeled it down. They kneeled it down? Kneeled it down? Doesn't sound right. And, the reason it's significant because they're taking control of the game. They know you're running the ball. They know you're trying to waste the clock. They can run this 4-minute offense to a T, and they've done it all year. And it's significant that the defense knows what you're trying to do, and you still produce. And that's kind of why it was significant, or at least why I talked about it, because it's very significant. This team finishes on offense. I don't think there's been a game where they've finished with the defense on the field. I genuinely, if it's happened this year, I am not aware of it. I do not remember. Because they have finished on offense damn near every single play. If not every single play. Or every single game, I should say. Rather, each game. And this has never been a thing before. And it's very impressive. Hey, buddy. These guys on offense are doing something that's never been done. They're super efficient, super effective. And there's no more proof than just ending the game with your offense on the field. Keeping control, making your own destiny by making plays on offense, which is like an existential, you must make your own destiny. Let's calm down, bro. Let's calm down. Getting a little ahead of yourself. God and the offense. Anyways, ain't that right, Zoe? Lamar Jackson, say it. Say Lamar Jackson. Say Lamar Jackson. Say Lamar Jackson. Can you speak? Speak. Say Lamar Jackson. And that's not how you say it. Say it. Anyways, this episode brought to you by Animals in the Room. Whether you want to be distracted or whether they're confused, Animals in the Room. They'll be there for you. Buddy, goddammit. Quit eating that. What is it with cats and Christmas type stuff? Cats love Christmas. I don't know what. They love the tree. They love the ornaments. They love wreaths. They love the smell of pine. They're fucking pussies, man. Pussies get wet on Christmas. Even though they hate water. What was I talking about? This episode's brought to you by Animals. This game, Ravens finishing on offense, which is amazing, and I'm going to keep saying it, keep harping on it, probably the rest of this year, because that's why they're winning, because they have a good enough offense that, hey, we're just going to keep it from here on out. And I mean, that game, both teams were struggling moving the ball. Both teams were having issues doing it because, hey, both defenses are pretty good. I'm not going to fault either team. I'm not going to fault the Ravens. I'm not going to, if you're a 49ers fan, I wouldn't fault the 49ers fan. Yards were just tough to come by. Muggy, rough weather conditions, two great teams. You can't be upset about that. No moral victories. But, you can't be upset with, the fact that neither team was really moving the ball. But the Ravens get the ball back, 6 minutes left, and it's like, okay, we need to score. I hope to get a touchdown, but don't make it quick. Then you're like, all right, they got to do it this way, they got to do that. All right, here's what the Ravens need to do. They need to take up the whole 6 minutes and score a touchdown, bro. That's how they need to win. So yeah, in the perfect world, yes, but you can't guarantee that. In a perfect world, they take the whole 6 minutes, but that's 6 minutes, man. The offense is were struggling moving the ball. Actually, you know what? They weren't struggling to move the ball. They were just struggling to score, to get past like the 40-yard line on the opposing side of the field. That's where they were struggling. And so Ravens start moving the ball. It's like, okay, whatever. Okay, whatever. But then they keep moving the goddamn ball like a goddamn Terminator or Michael Myers, just coming around the corner. Don't trip, bitch. Don't trip. Don't hurt your ankle because he's going to stab you. And Lamar straight up stabbed him. Got him down the field. Wish they probably got a little bit closer for that kick because, man, oh man, was that nerve-wracking. My butt was puckering. I was Justin Tuckering, I guess, because I was puckering. But really, still kind of confident that this shit would work. Because I saw him in warm-ups. He was kicking some bombs, at least in the other direction. I didn't see him coming towards our side of the stadium. Because that game winner, that was kicked towards our side of the stadium. Towards our seats. Man, had a great fucking view for that. Boy, was that a thing of beauty. There's probably tons of stuff I didn't really talk about. You know, just kind of going over things from what I saw in the game, like in my head. I'm trying to think if there's anything blatant that I missed. I mean, we won on a kick. Now, with the Patriots losing, going into the first seed in the AFC, never been done in my life. I know in 2006 they had a very good team, but I mean, what, I was in 6th grade? That's kind of how I judge stuff because, you know, I graduated high school in 2012, so it's like, all right, in 1st grade it was 2001, 2002, 2nd grade, right? So it's very easy to keep track. So 2006, I was in 6th grade. Or depending on the time of year, it could have been 7th grade? I don't know. Because 9/11, I was in 2nd grade, but it was before the year changed and went to 2002, right? I graduated high school 2012, and then I think that's right. Either way, I'm stoked. I'm happy. I am leaving back for my house or my apartment in Albuquerque in the next couple days. So in like 2 days, I will be gone. I will be back. So I will be back on my regular scheduled programming, even though it's never regularly scheduled. I will be back in studio, aka my studio apartment. There will be no animals to distract me when I discuss the Ravens. Ain't that right, Zoe? Yes, agreed, yes. And I'm just super happy, man. I mean, got to go to a game, guys. Got to go to a game for the first time in forever, dude. And it was amazing, and it was a Ravens win, and it was one of the most hyped matchups. I know this stretch that we've been on, you know, from when the Ravens started winning after that Browns game to now, it was a build. I was like, oh, now this is the real test. Now this is the real test. Now this is the real test. And this is the real test. And then we just started blowout. And then it's like, okay, now what's the real test? This is the real test now? Okay, we're going to play against the best that the NFL has to offer. This is the best team in the NFC, according to most people. I mean, they're a great fucking team. I don't disagree with that. But it's just like, oh yeah, they're the best? We'll see about that. You know, this was the most hyped matchup. I think I saw something that, you know, since they started recording DVOA and like the advantages one team to another in DVOA, this was the highest matchup they've ever had of both teams, you know, being great at DVOA. This was the highest that they've that have ever matched up. This was the first time that two teams coming off of blowouts against teams with winning records have met in the following week. Like crazy shit like that. Like this build statistically was like two of the best teams in history going at it. I mean, maybe not history. But I mean, this year, past couple years, you know, both teams dominating and, you know, matching up. And the Ravens came out on top. And it was a fucking thing of beauty. And oh boy, did I enjoy. Goddamn. So, I'll be going over my game picks that I had from this past week. I don't know how good I did or not, you know, just from eyeball tests. Sometimes you pick a team and you forget, you know, you were struggling in your mind which team to pick. So when you go back and think, like, who did I pick again? Like, so I'm not too sure, off the top of my head, but I will be going over all that. No bets, so I won't be going over that. But, we'll discuss the Week 14 matchups. But holy shit, guys, the year is almost over, and the Ravens are in the fucking playoffs. I think if they win next week, if they beat the Bills, and then the Steelers lose to whoever they play, then the Ravens clinch the division, which will be sweet. So with that being said, guys, maybe I'll get on another YouTuber stream or something, and I'll talk to them about the game. Maybe I'll think of something else, something new. I always forget something. I had some thoughts about this game, and I know I forgot them. That's just the way it goes. I mean, you start talking. Jesus, you scared me. You start talking about their game, and you're like, blah, 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 and then there's animals involved, and they're all over the place. You got to say, hey, quit eating the wreath, damn it. Quit it. So, with that being said, I will leave you with a go Ravens. Go. It's like a bird, Go Ravens. Anyways, go Ravens.